Hey, hello all, welcome back, or if you're new to the show, also a big welcome. Today we have another Hobbymaster, a quite old release. As you can see on the box, it's the box art from Hobbymaster. That means that the images that they are using here, mainly biggest part is Hobbymaster, and there are some images down there from historic events. Now this case, historic event is the Falkland War. So this is a Argentinian plane. The Argentinian army had a lot of A-4 Skyhawks to their disposal, fighting the United Kingdom in this case in that time frame. So this is in the 80s, 82. Box art is quite straightforward. I actually like these boxes better than our current boxes that we have. So we still had commercials on the back with other planes that you could buy. But also keep in mind when we were looking at the back in the day, it was maybe like 25, 30 euro a piece. And nowadays it's like 90 up to 80 euro a piece. So I get why they don't commercial anymore on these boxes. Parts were still separated back in the day, so that's really cool. Now this is a bit of a hot mess, unfortunately. Not so much that it is because of the seller, but it's mainly because it's been transported overseas. So yeah, this came just over the channel from Air Spotters. They had this thing for sale for a nice price. I thought that while we're buying it, there's some background information I'll show you guys inside. But let's see what's inside the box and see how the plane looks. Alrighty, so a short close-up on the box. So if you want to have a read on the information, feel free to pause. Some basic information about the plane itself. So parts usually are sitting on the side here. Now, unfortunately, these parts came loose a bit during transport. What I do like is that there was some weathering back in the day. So you will see around the frames that there's actually some coloring. This coloring like oil, a bit oily. But also the lining around the parts really nice. We'll dig into the parts in a sec, but let's first have a look at the plane. Now, as I mentioned already, boxes were back in the day already cool. This is a used model from a shop in the UK. Air Spotters, they're called. They sometimes have quite cool deals. Not always, but sometimes they do. For quite okay prices, so not too bad. Let's see, the landing gear is loose in the box and the stand. Now they mentioned on there that we are trying to do our best to make sure everything is complete. I took a bit of a gamble with that, because if they say it's complete, I'm pretty sure they do their due diligence to check. But we'll see in a second how things are looking. It's quite a dusty model, but we can clean that, of course. So first let's have a look at the plane itself, and I can show you also the before and after with cleaning. Tail is still one piece. Sensitive part, by the way, so be careful. Camera looks really good. Argentinian logo, even two ships. It has two kill marks on it. I need to look up the history of this little guy then. But I have to say it looks really cool. I think we're missing a canopy setup, but I'm not 100%. Oh no, it's openable canopy. Okay. But yeah, the antenna and all that, a little bit of, no, paint is looking quite good actually. Gonna give it a quick buff and clean in a few seconds. Tank probe is still on there, but let's go into details. So as I mentioned, two kill marks, nicely painted on there. The danger logos, the caution logos, nicely done. On the bottom, of course, that's sky white, but on the top, a camouflage. So always I like the combo of planes like this. Also like the antenna details, but it looks really cool. So I'm going to give it a quick clean and come back to you guys. Alrighty, so a quick detail just to get it cleaned again. I have to say it looks a lot better. So downside, by the way, with the drop bomb, it's only a single one in the middle of the plane. It's quite a heavy one, of course. So that means that if you want to display on a stand, what I'm going to do right now. But what I do like is that they actually spend time. Let me grab a pen. They spent the time to make sure that there's a little hole that will hold the bomb in place in the frame. So that's really nice. So yeah, that's Hobbymaster at its finest back in the day. As for rockets and all that, so we have the choice there to do that. And of course some basic frame armaments. Now as for closing the latches, usually that all works and fits quite nice. I haven't had many issues with it before. But there are some cases where people say like the fitment is not super, especially the overlap part. So you see it here happening. So you need to give it a gentle push. Don't overdo it, of course, because you will crack these little plastic frames. So take your time. If you have the feeling it's not 100% fitting, also just contact. As for missiles, I can only choose like missiles or tanks. So in this case, I already have plenty of them with the missiles on it. I'm not a big fan of that in this case. So I'm gonna go with fuel tanks, and usually it would be also the drop bomb in the middle, but that becomes a bit hard. There are some Skyhawks where you can put all weapons on the wings, and this one is one that doesn't have that in the frame. So it's probably the case in the B series. As for numbers on, they're really nice, but I do like that tanks are already painted and the scheme of the plane, so it looks a lot more cool, let's say, if that is the right word for it at least. But yeah, I have to say, as I mentioned already, the details on the parts is really nice, especially the linings already filled out, so you will see these marked linings really nicely. So it would look a bit like this if it was on his wheels. That would have been cool. It's just like the image, but that's not going to happen in this case. Now, unfortunately, yeah, this happens sometimes. The bomb is a bit loose on the frame, which is not a bad thing. Now it can rest on its tanks for the time. As for the stand, standard Hobbymaster base, and then a top frame that is unique. Now, as always, make sure that you check that your frame is really properly latched, just like that you don't get the repeats like some of my videos where it falls off. Now, this one still has a lot of seating material. It is for sure hard to get on there. That even makes me doubt if it's the right arm. Let me try that off camera. Alrighty, so I removed a little bit of material. It sometimes happens. It's not often, I have to say. It could also be that I just took the wrong stand holder. It looks a bit like this, so it holds in the back, which I have to say, nice little model. And the parts of the wheels are always very sturdy. They're not movable, by the way, but they are very good. The only thing you need to pay attention on, and I'll tell you guys in advance, the little front hatch is always, when I buy these things used, I often see these things snapped. So pay attention with them. For us, good model. Alrighty guys, so there you have it, a nice finished product. I have to say, again, a very nice model, a nice example of an older model that's still looking very good. So if you're looking for one, HA1404, a bit hard to find sometimes, but take your time when finding. You will find it one day, simple as that. Thank you again for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. It's always very welcome, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.